Since I came to Gift of Hope almost 3 years ago, I've been trying to find a way to express to our staff and to other caregivers what it's like to be a member of our team and what's so special about what we do at Gift of Hope. And I think the best way I can express that is through a story. And this is the story of Lauren. Lauren is a 15-year-old girl, born and raised here in the western suburbs of Chicago, a twin, beautiful family. Her dad is a deputy fire chief and a paramedic for 25 years. Mom's just a wonderful person. Great family. 6 months ago, Lauren was doing what Lauren did. She's just a fun-loving kid, and said she felt something in her head move. And she wound up feeling very ill, and her dad actually wound up taking her to the hospital. Joe knew clinically that things were really bad, but as a dad, you know, you can't go there. So Lauren got to the emergency room in one of our really good hospitals and got great care. And we got brought into the situation very early because she really was in really bad shape. Turned out she had had an AVM rupture, which is a blood vessel malformation in the brain, which very unusual, but catastrophic. So we meet family. The family is very nice and of course totally distraught, given that their daughter was talking to them and perfectly fine just a few hours before. At this point in this case, most of the caregivers didn't think Lauren was going to make it through the night, that she would arrest on the ventilator and we would lose the opportunity for donation. And the family was very interested in donation. We started to look at this case as what we call an emergency case. We called the coroner for release and we got started. We got all our paperwork going. Lauren stabilized overnight and the next day. And actually, you know, she appeared to improve. And the family actually started to have some hope. And now we're in a really interesting dynamic because we're there for organ donation. The hospital knows she's probably brain dead. And the family is like, well, wait a minute. We authorized organ donation, we're not so sure. And we decided we need to give this family some time and space, and we actually left the hospital for a couple of days. So Lauren proceeded to get great care, but she did finally herniate, and she was declared brain dead a little bit later in the week. And we came back in and managed her and really did a really outstanding job. And oftentimes, when our caregivers make that connection, I like to get out and meet the family. And in this case, their memorial service, which was a week later, was literally 4 blocks from my house. And the whole church was completely full with the exception of one seat. So I took the last seat. As they're about ready to start the service, about 100 firefighters in full dress uniforms come in and they line the walls of the church. The part of this service that caught my attention the most was when one of the pastors who had cared for Lauren and the family during that week was up speaking. But he said, you know, it's a funny thing. When I get to the hospital, and I go upstairs to the ICU where Lauren is, and I get to her room, something happens. There's an energy, there's something that lifts this kind of tired burden of the day. And it just, I can't describe it. I don't know what it is, but there's something when I'm there that feels different. And he said, my wife said to me, she said, that's because you're on sacred ground. And that's what struck me. That's the description of what we do. When Gift of Hope goes into a hospital and is in an ICU and working with a donor and a donor family, we're on sacred ground. It's not our sacred ground, it's that family's sacred ground. And it's true for not only Gift of Hope and our staff, but the staff of those hospitals, the pastoral care folks, and the ICU docs and the nurses, and everybody who has to experience that relationship with that family. It's that sacred ground that really describes, to me, what's so special about what we do.